The storm outside raged against the city skyline, wind whipping against glass and steel, lightning illuminating the skyline in stark, violent flashes. The sound of rain drumming against the penthouse windows was deafening, but inside, the storm between Selene Moreau and Adrian Blackwood was far louder, far more consuming. Selene stood near the floor-to-ceiling windows, rain streaking the glass, reflecting the turmoil in her chest. Her hair was slightly damp from the wind outside, loose strands clinging to her neck and shoulders. Her gown, silky and dark, hugged her curves, accentuating the fire and strength she carried even now. Adrian's silhouette emerged from the shadows, the dim candlelight highlighting the sharp angles of his face, the intensity of his dark eyes. His presence was magnetic, obsessive, irresistible, as if the world itself had shrunk until only he and she existed. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered, voice low, trembling despite the control she always demanded of herself. "I couldn't stay away," he replied, stepping closer, his voice a deep growl threaded with desire and obsession. "Not when the storm is outside, and inside me." Selena's pulse quickened. She hated how easily his words infiltrated her defenses, how effortlessly he made her feel both vulnerable and alive. "You're dangerous," she said, trying to sound defiant, though her body betrayed her words. "And you," he said, closing the space between them, "are irresistible, and defiance only makes you more so." Her breath hitched. She wanted to step back, to reclaim the walls she had built around herself, but the pull of him, the storm of obsession and desire, was too strong. She was caught in his orbit, and for the first time, she wasn't fighting it entirely. "You've always been impossible," she whispered, her voice shaking slightly, "and I shouldn't want you." "And yet," Adrian murmured, brushing a finger along her jaw, tilting her face toward his, "you do, because we're inevitable, you and I." The words, dark and possessive, struck deep into her chest. Her hands flexed at her sides, trembling, torn between resistance and surrender. He was reckless, grumpy, cunning, but beneath it all, there was an intensity and softness reserved only for her. He was obsessed, and it both terrified and thrilled her. "I shouldn't," she whispered again, stepping back slightly. "You should," he countered, voice low, deep, commanding. "Because the moment you stop fighting me is the moment you'll finally feel alive. And you want that, don't you?" Selena's chest tightened. He was right. Every rational thought screamed caution, but desire, passion, and something darker whispered seduction. She wanted him. She hated that she wanted him, but the pull was undeniable. Adrian's hands lifted, brushing strands of damp hair from her face, his touch lingering, possessive, intimate. "Surrender to it," he murmured, lips brushing her temple. "Surrender to us. To this storm. You won't regret it." Her pulse thundered. Every ounce of her being screamed resistance, yet she leaned slightly into his touch, unable to deny the fire igniting inside her. She hated how much she craved the intensity, the obsession, the dangerous passion he offered. "You're maddening," she whispered, voice low, trembling. "And yet," he murmured, closing the space between them, lips barely brushing hers, "you can't resist me." Selena's breath hitched. Her body responded despite every attempt at control. She tried to step back, to remind herself of boundaries, rules, and logic, but his dark presence, obsessive intensity, and teasing softness rendered her powerless. "Adrian, this is insane," she whispered, voice trembling. "We shouldn't. We can't." "We can," he countered, lips grazing hers in a dangerous feather-light kiss. "We can, because I won't let you walk away. Not now, not ever." "And you want this too," admitted. Her chest heaved. He was right. Every look, every touch, every whispered word had been leading to this moment. She hated him for being right, for having this hold over her, yet she couldn't deny the truth. "I want you," she admitted finally, voice low, breathless, the confession shaking from her lips, despite her pride. Adrian's grin was triumphant, dark, and magnetic. "Good," he murmured, pressing his lips to hers fully this time, claiming her with the slow, deliberate force of obsession. "Because I want you too, every piece of you, every fire, every defiance, every part of this heart you try to hide." Selene shivered as the kiss deepened, passion, desire, and power colliding in a storm that neither of them could contain. Her hands tangled in his dark hair, pulling him closer, needing to feel every ounce of him. Adrian's hands roamed her body with possessive reverence, memorizing every curve, every reaction, marking her as his, in the language only they could speak. "You're mine," he whispered between kisses, voice low, dark, and obsessive. "Even when you resist, even when you fight, even when you hate me for it." I shouldn't," she murmured, caught between defiance and surrender. "And yet," he countered, pressing his forehead to hers, lips brushing her temple, "you're still here, still in my arms, still unable to resist me, and that is what I live for." The storm outside mirrored the storm inside them, wind rattling the windows, lightning splitting the sky, rain drumming a fierce rhythm. But inside, the fire of desire, passion, and obsession burned hotter, fiercer, and unstoppable. Selena's hands trembled as she pressed herself to him, surrendering slowly, cautiously, to the intensity he demanded. Adrian's lips found hers again, slower this time, savoring, teasing, claiming, as if every second counted and every hesitation was fuel for their dark, consuming fire. "You're dangerous," she whispered against his lips, breathless, "and I shouldn't." "You should," he murmured, voice deep, possessive, reverent, "because you're alive when you're with me, alive in ways no one else could ever make you feel, and I want that. I want you, all of you, and I'll take it, whether you resist or not." Selene's chest tightened as the truth of their obsession became undeniable. He was reckless, grumpy, cunning, dangerous and entirely devoted to her, and she was completely lost to him. "I can't resist you," she admitted finally, voice trembling, surrender threading through every word. Adrian's grin deepened, dark and possessive, as if he'd been waiting for that exact confession. "Good," he whispered, pressing a slow, intoxicating kiss to her neck, letting his hands trace every line, every curve, mapping her with obsessive reverence. "Because I'll take it all, and you'll let me. You have no choice now." Her knees weakened, heart racing in a rhythm that matched the storm outside. She leaned fully into him, surrendering finally, tasting the fire, the obsession, the dangerous, irresistible pull that had drawn them together from the very beginning. "You're mine," he murmured, lips finding hers again, dark, slow, possessive. "And you'll never walk away from this. From me, from us. I'm yours," she whispered back, breathless, trembling, surrender complete. The storm outside raged on, but inside, the tempest of desire, obsession, and passion had found its calm in the fire of their surrender. Selene Moreau and Adrian Blackwood, once enemies, rivals, and obstacles to each other, had become a single force, unstoppable, obsessive, and utterly intertwined. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered promise carried the weight of power, love, and dark devotion. They had surrendered not just to desire, but to the inevitability of each other, two forces too strong to resist, too obsessed to deny, and too fierce to ever let go. And in the heart of the storm, they were complete.